Hallelujah. Because of you that we live, move, and have our being. Without you, God, we're absolutely nothing. God, we've come today, we'll assemble ourselves here today to celebrate this couple, but we've also come to worship and give you glory.
Glory.
Give you praise.
Yes, God.
Said in your word that where two or three are gathered together in your name, there you are right there in the middle. Thank you for your presence.
Thank you for your presence.
Father, we pray now, even as we come to release this word into this atmosphere. God, we pray that it fall on good ground.
Yes, Father.
That the praise and worship has gone forth even before now. Saturated the ground, God, so that the word of God can find a good place to rest. Hallelujah. I decrease even the more. You get all the glory. You get all the praise. In the name of Jesus. God, we give you glory for it now. We decree it and we declare it done even right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank God.
Thank God.
Amen. Now come on, put those hands together. Hallelujah. Amen. You may be seated. I'm going to hurry along here. So again, we want to recognize the pastor of this house, First Lady, the glasses. Come on, let's celebrate them. Actually, some know the history, but it was Superintendent Glass who recommended that of the three churches that my father pastored at the time, that the youngest pastor go to the oldest church. And the oldest church at the time was Revival Center, and the middle pastor go with the middle church, which was There Is Hope High Bluff. The oldest pastor, or the more seasoned pastor, go with the newest church, which was There Is Hope in Eudora. So it was based on his recommendation, and it was something that my father was looking for and asking for, that I was planted at Revival Center approximately 18 years ago. Amen. Certainly we appreciate, as Tara said, the visionary and the prophet of this man. Did he not preach to us on last Sunday? I know that Revival Center is a little disappointed that they didn't get a chance to sing. But I want Revival Center to stand so y'all can know we here. Amen. We have others who had to go in a different direction. Amen. But I thank God for you. As I was driving down, I know it's important that whenever the leader goes anywhere, that so not just the leader, but the people go.
Yes, sir.
But one thing I hadn't learned or grabbed a hold to yet, and that's putting demands and asking folk or telling folk what to do. And I just try to make the announcement, and those who come, I'm just glad to see who shows up.
Yes, sir.
I certainly want to recognize the pulpit of the Charlie Shaver.
Amen.
Charlie Shaver, if it's 19 years here, he's probably 21 years deep.
That's right.
In helping. My father, if you know anything about my father, don't have no one-on-one meeting with him.
Yes, sir.
If you don't want to do something, don't have a one-on-one. Just don't answer the phone. Oh, that's Elder Joned. I can't take that call. If you train your children that when he comes knocking at your door, don't you answer that door. Elder Joned convinced Elder DeShazer to move to Pine Bluff to start a ministry that had no church, no building, no nothing. And he and his wife transitioned from Monticello to Pine Bluff on faith. of Pastor Nathaniel Jones that one day this would be. So we certainly thank God for you and your wife.
Amen. Amen.
And I know this without even checking the record. I know he's been a faithful supporter of the glasses.
Amen.
He could have been one of those who said, I made the sacrifice, I should be appointed. But he came in and he pushes the glasses, he promotes them, and he operates in the spirit of support. We certainly appreciate his sacrifice. Pastor Jerry Williams.
Amen.
I would often see him, and I don't think I've never not seen him in Memphis at April Call.
That's right.
He's always there. I don't know, do you serve as a secretary or something along those lines? Secretary. Every time I run into him, the only time I see him is in Memphis. We all in Arkansas, but I would see him in Memphis or at St. Louis at our national church meetings. And on occasion, I ran into him Thursday at the honor banquet at the UAPB. We were there to support my son, who's a 20-year-old senior. If you can believe that. 20-year-old senior. And ran into him, and not only him, but I ran into Brother Melvin. Brother Melvin and I worked together. We were working with him in a consulting role with some things he's doing in the city. And the two of them were sitting together. And he reminded me that was his pastor. And so as we were talking, he said, I heard about the appreciation, and we may just stop in and just worship and fellowship with you all. So God bless the both of you all.
Amen. Amen.
Thank God for my brother, my older brother, only brother, Orlando, Brother Quinn. The glass daughter, I can remember Angelica when she was born. Remember all of them when they were born. And, you know, the glasses used to do something back in the day when they wanted to discipline their children. They would do something like a tag team type situation where one would hold while the other whooped. So Angelica wasn't just talking. She was like, wow, I got to have these parents. Yeah, it was time to introduce them some new stuff to it. It was like, wow, okay, all right. But we grew up like family, and we certainly appreciate them. And then they just bless us today. I want to recognize the district missionary, Mother Jean.
Amen.
And then to the most beautiful woman in the house. Boy, that radar didn't stop till it got to right there. Look at it. God bless you, baby. Love you. Amen. I saw something in her that I should have been. She was at UAPB campus, just as sanctified as she wanted to be. But she had her own style. You wouldn't have known that she was in the church because she didn't care about the look. She was more concerned about the inside. So when I met her, I thought, man, you know what? I'm really supposed to be living like that. Because all of us have sinned. I want to make sure I got some witnesses. We all have sinned and come short of God getting glory out of our life. But thank God, I saw in her what I needed to be. And so, because I grew up in this thing, I knew how to put on the robe. And I knew how to wash my face and play the role and get back saved for real. You know what I'm talking about. I do want to thank Tanja for your surprise
Amen. Amen.
cooperation. We appreciate you. We all go back by the time mentioned it. John the 14th chapter, the first through the third verses. Luke the 19th chapter, 12 and 13. I want my new member to stand. I want my new member. Look out now. Look, I ain't gave him the right hand of fellowship. But he came to church today. He's been several times. Came today and said, I'm going to join this church. And not only did he say he's going to join, he said, but I'm going to Palm Love too. Look out now. Amen. Come on, y'all. I know y'all waiting on me. I'm waiting on y'all. Y'all standing? John the 14th chapter 1 through 3, Luke 19, 12, 13. If I missed you, I apologize. Elder Bias, I know he's worked with Elder Joned for many years. He is Sister Bias. God bless them for their faithful service. John the 14th chapter, 1st through 3rd verses, it reads, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Luke 19, 12 and 13. A certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom, and returned. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. I want to talk to you from the subject, Operation Occupy. Operation Occupy. You may be seated. What you'll find for you who study your Bibles and those of you who go to Sunday school, let me check real quick. Want everybody just to close your eyes. And if you go to Sunday school, raise your hand. Everybody close your eyes. If you go to Sunday school, raise your hand. All right. I ain't want to put nobody on the spot. You don't go to Sunday school, you make Sunday a new beginning. Amen. Amen, somebody. Amen. John the 14th chapter continues the conversation Jesus is having with his disciples as they are celebrating the Passover. The Passover represented a time where Jews from all over the world would come back and reassemble in Jerusalem to celebrate God delivering them from Egypt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was at Egypt where God was ready to fulfill his promise that he gave to Abraham. And as he was getting ready to deliver the children of Israel out of Egypt, God took the time to deal with every one of the Egyptian gods before he brought them out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That this was necessary and it was important because Israel has spent over 400 years being accustomed to their worship. So after 400 years of seeing the same things over and over and over, some of the Egyptian worship got on the inside of them.
My God.
You had to know that because if you saw the movie, the Ten Commandments or Moses or whatever, as soon as Moses went up into the mountain and stayed for more than 39 days, them Negroes they built an ark, they built a golden calf.
Yes, they did.
Collected the gold and created a graven image.
That's right. That's right.
So you knew that was in them.
That's right.
That was in them. And listen, it was in them, but it kind of maybe not necessarily been all of their fault because they had been in Egypt for so long. So what God had to do was he had to challenge every one of their gods. I could have brought them out. Just, you know what, I could just bring them all out, but now I can't just bring them out too soon because they got some stuff in them that I got to deal with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he took time. He took his time and dealt with every god. Poof, I'll deal with the fly god. I'll deal with the Nile god. Because what he wanted to do was crush their confidence in those foreign gods.
Yes.
So the Passover was about the last thing that happened before they left. God gave them instructions to take the blood of a pure lamb and put it on the doorpost. Right. This was symbolism. Symbolism of a perfect lamb being sacrificed and putting blood over the covering.
My God.
And so that he was getting ready to send the death angel. But before he sent the death angel, he had them to cover themselves with blood.
With blood. My God.
So that when the death angel came in to take that firstborn son, when he would see the blood on the doorpost, he would pass over.
Right.
He wouldn't go into that house, but at the sight of the blood, he would pass over.
Yeah. Thank you.
So the Jews, regardless of where they lived, you had Jews who lived in all areas of the world. But wherever they lived, they would always set their calendar for this time to come back to Jerusalem to remember.
Yeah.
And this was important. This Passover was really important because of the time that was related to Pentecost. Because we're in that time now. We just celebrated Easter. We're in that time for Pentecost. And see, Pentecost didn't start in Acts. But Pentecost was something, it was the conclusion of the Passover feast that lasted for 50 days. And so, this was important. So when Jesus began to deal with them, he was talking to them at the Passover, and he was beginning to tell them about the real plan that was getting ready to take place.
My God.
When God sent Moses to Pharaoh, the request was, let the children of Israel journey 3 days into the wilderness so they could worship. Look, regardless of what difficulties you may face in life, if you're looking for God to deliver you, then please know that his deliverance has everything to do with you worshiping him once he brings you out. He said, I want my people out, but I want them out so they can worship me. In other words, and he said, when you worship me, John talked about it, when you worship me, you got to worship me in spirit and in truth. In other words, he's not just looking for how hard you can clap your hands or how loud your praise is, but he's looking for a worship that comes from your heart that recognizes that had it not been for the Lord who was on my side, I don't know where I'd be. Nevertheless, all too often after God has delivered us and brought us out, we get spiritual amnesia. We act like God didn't do it for us.
Right.
I read a scripture this morning that God told the children of Israel through Moses to say, look, you tell the people to remember when they've eaten well. And they're driving nice cars now. And they're living in nice houses and they have increase in their monies and in their finances. Tell them to remember because it was not their own hands that brought them out. All too often God brings us out of whatever mess we're in and we forget it was the Lord who brought us out. And we start saying it was my own hands. I'm the one who thought about that. No, check the record. If you check the record, you didn't even know how to come out. The Lord had to bring you out. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, was it the Lord who brought you out? Then wait for a response. See what they say. Let them testify to you. God understood that the Israelites had been exposed to the Egyptian gods for over 400 years. Before he could really bring them out naturally, he had to bring them out in their minds. One of the things I love about God is he takes the responsibility to deal with our unbelief. Unbelief is not a challenge that you need to have to overcome on your own. John 10:37 and 38, Jesus said, if I do not the works of my Father, believe me not. But if I do, though ye believe not me, believe the works, that ye may know and believe that the Father is in me and I in him. I heard Paul say that how can we call on him in whom we have not believed? How can we believe on him whom we have not heard? He says, then faith cometh by hearing the word of God. Oh, there it is. That's the reason why the devil fights you from coming to church like you're supposed to. He knows that if you come to Bible study, if you come to Sunday school, even though you don't like the way the teacher teach, he knows if you come to Sunday night service and Sunday morning service, that God will have the opportunity to deal with your unbelief. Because all you got to do is just hear the word. And the more you hear the word, then the more God has an opportunity to deal with your unbelief. But now when it comes to doubt, doubt is a personal issue. Doubt is a result of you getting away from what God has already said. If he said it, surely it shall come to pass. James 4:7-9, therefore submit to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Draw near to God and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners. Purify your hearts, you double-minded. At some point in this walk of faith, you're going to make up in your mind that if he said it, I believe it, and that's settled.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
After God finished the plagues, he sent the death angel through Egypt to take the lives of the firstborn sons. The only way to avoid death was for that house to have the blood of a pure lamb applied to the doorpost.
My God.
When the death angel saw the blood of the lamb, he would pass over. Now I know that there are some who would question God taking the lives of the innocent, supposedly innocent. But what you have to remember is that after Pharaoh realized he could not stop the favor of the lives of the Israelites by steadily increasing their hardship, he started killing their babies. Moses was a survivor. Can we pause for a minute to thank God that after all we've been through, we are still here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Think it not strange when it looks like the devil has a special assignment against your life. Now that you're born again and simply trying to do the right thing. One thing you have to come to grips with as a child of God is you don't ever have to try to come to your own rescue. The Bible says that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, and I will repay. He says, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord, and do good, And so shall I dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Came by today to tell you to quit getting caught up in the right now. You got to trust that regardless of what it looks like, that no weapon, somebody say no weapon. No weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper. And all things good, the bad and the ugly, they are somehow working together for your good. When you're counted as defenseless sheep headed to the slaughter. I heard the word say, nay, no, not, no. Even though it looks like you are defenseless, I heard the word say, nay, and all these things you are more than a conqueror. Look at your neighbor, I'm more than a conqueror. Jesus had just finished telling his disciples in chapter 13 the real plan that he has been preparing them for. And that plan was for him to go to the cross. And of course, this news came with some resistance. Number one, because they were expecting him to establish an earthly kingdom where all of them will assist him in reigning. And number two, because they had come to love and respect him as the Son of the living God. Peter even tells Jesus in chapter 13 that he was willing to lay down his life to protect his. When we find Jesus comforting them by telling them to not let their hearts be troubled. He says, if you believe in God, believe also in me.
Yes, sir.
And here's where so many of us have missed it. There are so many willing to share God with every religion, saying that he's a God with many names. And he's the same God of every religion. But here is the problem with that. While it is good to believe in God or a higher power, Oprah says that the only way to the power of God can become in real life is through the acceptance of his Son. Oprah got it mixed up when she said that Jesus is not the only way. She said that God has many ways that you can get to him. But the only way we can get to the power of God is we've got to come through Jesus Christ.
That's right.
John the 14th chapter, the 6th verse, Jesus said unto them, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father but by me. Keep reading John 6 and 44. He says, no man can come to me except the Father which has sent me draws him. And I will raise him up at the last day. John 3, 16 and 17. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. You're not going to be able to skirt around your acceptance of Jesus as the light of the world and Savior for all mankind. You will have to open the doorpost of your heart and truly allow him to come in. That his blood that was shed at Calvary can be applied to your doorpost of your heart. So when the enemy sees the blood of Jesus on the doorpost of your heart, he will have to pass over. Jesus told his disciples, I am the new covenant, the new Passover. Can I tell you that it is virtually impossible for you to get on your face before God and ask Christ to come into your life, and he does not do it.
That's right.
For I heard him say, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and sup with him and he with me. Then I heard Paul say, if thou would confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and believe in thy heart that God has raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. For with the heart man believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. For whosoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. And as I close today, I want to leave you with this. The salvation God brings into your life when he calls you out of darkness into his marvelous light. not just about the hereafter, but it has everything to do with the here now.
Yes, sir.
In Luke the 19th chapter, Jesus speaks of a nobleman who goes into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered unto them a portion of what belongs to him. And he tells them to occupy till I come.
Yes, sir.
The times that we're living in now, on the surface, it can seem somewhat disheartening. There's so many corrupt systems that have been in place for so long that they are met with little or no resistance for better.
My God.
The common theme has become, it is what it is. It's the way it has always been. And it's the way it's always going to be. The family system is broken because too many fathers who are unwilling to commit to being husbands to the women they're producing offspring with.
Yes, sir.
If she isn't the one that you're willing to marry, then she shouldn't be the one that you're having children with.
All right.
Doesn't matter how fine she is. Amen. If you're gonna, Beyonce said, put a ring on it. Put a ring. They used to tell us that no ring, no thing. Somebody say no wed, no bed. And so we end up having broken children who are not connected to their fathers, to their mothers. And we end up sending our broken children into a broken educational system because they are unprepared to raise our children. The broken educational system feeds our children into the broken medical system that dopes them up and making them unproductive. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I know it's getting quiet right now, but I don't live here. I don't pastor here. We dope our own children up. If you're not careful, some of us are getting a check.
Oh, Jesus.
Getting a check. We have a member right now who says that she got messed up because her grandparents put her on the system. Told her to act a certain way so that she could get a check for her. And that thing has affected her for the rest of her life. It affected her until she came to the altar and said, Lord, touch me. Renew my mind.
Yes, sir.
Renew my spirit.
Yes, sir.
And that young lady right now has gone back to school. I'm talking about to college to continue her education. But if you're not careful, that broken medical system feeds our children into a broken social system because they can't behave without being doped up. So eventually the social system feeds them into the judicial system because daddy wasn't there to be daddy. The school couldn't raise them. The medicine couldn't control them, so they end up in prison caged to themselves. But it doesn't stop there because the judicial system feeds them into the political system.